Today I have author Mr. Robert Clark here with me to talk a little bit about writing a novel and about the publication process. So it's nice to have you, Mr. Robert Clark.
Thank you.
Mr. Clark, how old are you?
56.
And so how and when did you first get interested in writing stories?
I started writing back in 2007. We had a time capsule opening here at the town, the one they buried in 1967, and I went to it and I'm watching it and they're going, what if they open this crazy thing and it's empty? And that's the first time I really thought about putting a plot together. But it was that first one, there's some spark that you have to have, and that was mine.
So when you write, what is the first thing that you usually think of in terms of the story?
I try to think of the main character and what conflict that main character is going to have. So I try to find something that is going to happen to this person that has to have a resolution. So I try to roll that whole thing into a plot. I pretty much just have small little points as I go along, and I try to reach those milestones and hope it all fills in later. There's a lot of books that are going, I have no idea how this is going to end, but I got a great start, I got a great middle, and we'll just see where the characters take me.
So is there any kind of pre-writing setup you have, like a certain time you like to write or a certain place where you write?
I write on my kitchen table. I sit on a very uncomfortable stool, and I have a laptop, and I have kind of bad lighting from overhead, but that's just how I do it. I write late at night, usually 10:30 to 11:30. That's my time, and I can get a lot done at that time.
So about how long on average does it take you to write a novel and finish it?
My 2 adult novels took me about 9 or 10 months to write, but I mostly, if not all, write middle grade now, and it takes me about 6 or 7 months from concept to typing the end. I pretty much have it down to a year now for everything to get going. By the time you, well, maybe a little bit less, 10 months. By the time you get it written and edited and out to betas and out to anybody else who wants to read it and give their insight on it. You don't want to start editing it and sending it out right away. You want to let it simmer for a few weeks if you can.
So about how many stories have you written over the years?
I have completed, as in typed the end, 11 novels.
And how many of those have been published?
I have published 4 of them.
And so what is your experience with publishing? Like, do you have an agent or do you have like other people to help you out too?
How long do you have? Well, I'll give you the short part of it. I have had 2 agents and I've lost 2 agents. That's part of the process, is that some writers get them, some keep them forever, some people get them and lose them. I have since tried getting an agent for several other books, and I am in the process of trying to get one now for my latest book. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. They have to find the spark. They have to read this and say, yes, I can represent this, I can sell this, because agents are in the business of making money. So they don't care as much about what kind of a writer you are. They want to sell books and make money because it's a dog-eat-dog publishing world. Publishing is a tough business if you have to find them on your own. I did find a publisher for my book coming out in 2017 called The TikTok Man. I can find publishers on my own. I can actually write to big editors at some of the bigger houses and have them read my work. Some of them won't, some of them will. They'll come back and say, yeah, go ahead and send it. So an agent can get you in a lot of places. You can get some there yourself if you really try. But I would prefer having an agent for the books that I have coming out, because they can get into the bigger places quicker. They can help you with foreign rights. They can help you with audio rights. There's lots of other stuff that you can do to get your book what it deserves.
So what do you think is your biggest strength in your writing?
I think my biggest strength is that I never write the same book twice. I try to go all over the map. I try to write something different, make a different point every time I write a book. And I think I've done that all the way through.
What do you believe is your greatest weakness in your writing?
Well, one that has followed me all the way through my writing process is I leave out words all the time. It just kills me when I get right near the end. I get almost the final version of it. And my wife's looking through it going, you left off an OF here, you left off the here, you left. So there'd be 30, 40 of them in a manuscript. And I have read this thing 20,000 times. That's why you have to read it one word, one sentence at a time. Try to read it slowly, make sure that all the words are there where they should be.
So do you have any advice for any upcoming writers?
The best advice I've ever seen, or I've ever been given, I've ever seen in print, is control the things you can control. And that is the writing process. Only you can put the words in, only you can make the characters come to life, do everything it takes to get the book done. That's what you control. If you focus more on that, the writing process will be a little more enjoyable because it can really get to you after a while. It can be a grind. There's a lot of stuff to do with agents and publishing, but know what you can control. You can write. That's the only thing. Nobody can take that away from you. If you can sit down at your word processor and bang out the words, make the characters come to life, put the end in there when it's necessary, and then rinse and repeat. Always know that something they can't take away from you. They can't take the voices in your head. They're there all the time. They're asking you questions. They're telling you what to say. You need to control those voices, write the words that need to be written, and that's what you can control. Write what you can, write when you can, and control all that. That's my major advice.
So thank you for your time, Mr. Clark.
Glad I could be of some help.